What's up, and welcome back to the CLIC Kidz Biz Focus Group series. This is our final session of the year. We've been really excited and honored to grow with you in business in the last couple months. Just a brief recap, we started out with Emma Olivia. She was our guest. We had people come in person, and it was a phenomenal time. She taught us why authenticity and personality is essential to getting more clients and connecting with potential partners, okay? Next, we had Anthony Gladney come in, and he told us about the mindset and the lifestyle it takes to become a successful business owner. His topic was profiting with a purpose, and the main quote, my favorite takeaway from his workshop, is your skills don't need all the assets to get the mission complete. Again, that means you don't need all the bells and whistles. You can literally start with the resources you have right now, an idea that you're committed to seeing through, and a plan to take action. Those are the keys, okay? You need a mindset, toolkit, skill set, $1 million focus, all right? You need those things to be successful in life and business. Shout out to Anthony Gladney for dropping those jewels on us. Right after that, me and some of the other folks, we hosted a workshop on the reality of navigating high school and business at the same time. We had Emma Olivia come back, and she told us that it's not as difficult as it may seem as long as you prioritize what has the biggest return on investment for your time and your energy, whether that's business or that's socializing. By having a system in place, you'll be more easily able to navigate through all of those different relationships. The relationship with your business, the relationship with your friends, the relationship with your parents, and the relationship with yourself, and the relationship with your creator if you are a person of faith. All right? And then we had also in that same workshop, one of our Kidz Biz alumni, her name is Camilla, and she was telling us why it's important to make sure that your priorities and you're focusing on today. As youth businesses, myself also as a business owner and developer, sometimes I tend to get so focused on the future that I lose sight of what's important right now. So Camilla was telling us how she went on to graduate from our summer program, continued to earn business, participate in other expos and things of that nature, but ultimately decided to put the business in the background to focus on her academics. I mean, she's only 12, so she's focusing on going to the next stage in her schooling, right? So that was extremely important when it comes to the placement and keeping focus on reality versus the future. And then I wrapped it up with a bow, and we discussed why it's important to have healthy boundaries and empathy for our parents and the people we're requesting support from. Also did a YouTube video on support, and I'll link that as well when this video is posted, okay? So now we are here. Now that we understand the mindset, the lifestyle, the authenticity and personality of our business to create a brand that is successful and thriving in the economy. Now we're talking about business development, okay? We're talking about the leagues of business. So that brings us to right now, the final focus group is on the leagues of business. It's all about your business development journey and how you progress and grow as a person, as a leader, and how that reflects in your business. All right, so let's dive in. Whenever you're starting your business, right, you have an idea and you're just trying to see how the market responds. Whether you have experience working with your parents, your peers, or you have direct hand-on experience developing your own company, whatever point you enter in, you're starting out like most athletes, and you're going to be a rookie. All right. The rookie point of business development is all about that first 0 to 3 years in business. Extremely experimental. Corey, what do you mean by experimental? So, let's say I wanted to start a sock business, right? And I need to figure out first, where am I getting the socks? Am I printing my logo on the socks? How do I get a logo printed? All of the essential questions that happen or come up for your first round of learning business, right? Where do I find marketing? What is marketing? What is branding? How are they the same? How are they different? What's sales? What's my sales process like? All these questions, right? Where do I get my products from? How do people find my information? All of these questions and more are going to be answered in that first 3 years in business. That's what I mean by it's very experimental. You might try to do the print yourself. You may try to outsource the socks. You're going to do some research to identify what is the sock business. You know, maybe never even considered what it is looks like as a business and what it looks like as an industry, right? What industry does that fall in? All of these questions, when you're exploring them for the first time and kind of experimenting to see what makes sense to develop that product, what makes sense to fine tune and actually creating this idea and bringing it to life, that is typically the phase of the rookie, all right? We're typically called the aspiring entrepreneur in that first phase of development, all right? Next, we are going to be talking about the semi-pro league. So this is kind of similar to, you start out, let's say you start out a freshman in high school, maybe freshman basketball, and then you're now on the JV team. This is kind of that transition right here, right? From Pop Warner to school, from street ball to playing on your high school or your school team, right? That is this transition that we're speaking of. So typically you have some skin in the game. You're looking at 3 to 5 years, and that's going to be very directional, all right? What do you mean by directional? That means after you've done the initial steps in answering most of the questions to figure out what your idea is and how to bring it to market, now it's time to give it some direction, all right? At this stage, you've earned some money or you've played a couple seasons in the game, maybe second string, maybe first string, depending on your skill level, right? Depending on your talent, depending on your resources that you have access to, now it's time to bring these things into focus and choose the direction of your business. Maybe that sock business we initially had, the idea, maybe it worked, but as we did sales, we earned some money, and we started listening to what the market, what our customers are telling us. We decide, you know what, instead of focusing on socks, let's go ahead and expand our horizon and see which types of apparel, sports-related apparel, are actually performing well, that maybe won't cost as much, the concerns that you're starting to gain while being in business for a little bit, okay? So this is where you're now direction. Where am I going? Where are we headed based on the resources and feedback we're getting from the market, okay? Very directional. Now, I want to go ahead and let you know real quick. From here, rookie, to about the end of the semi-pro, a couple of things can happen in this first 5 years. You can make a personal, conscious decision to not continue the business. You can make a conscious decision to develop and grow the business and step up in leadership and understand what that next level mindset looks like in order for you to move the business forward. You can also choose, if you so want to, you could outsource certain products and services. There's a lot of flexibility that comes in that first 5 years. You also might experience a closure of a business for the first time. You're going to experience the reality of why it's so hard to actually develop a business up to year 5 and past year 5 if you choose to move forward in that direction. Now, this is referring to that statistic of like most businesses don't make it past 5 years. It's because in the semi-pro level is typically where we hit that wall. That's when we're playing sports, we've been dominating, we've been doing our thing. We're not the MVP, but we're one of the better folks in our team, and now we're facing an opponent who is more skilled than us, right? He may not be taller, she may not be stronger, but she has more skill, more intelligence for the game, which we call this IQ, right? Game IQ. And now you're faced with the reality that there's still a lot more work that you need to do to get closer to where you want to be as an athlete, as an entrepreneur, as you grow through the different stages of development in business, okay? Also, the concept here, once you get to your 5 years in business, after you get to that 5-year mark, you're starting to, that season, we call it the training wheels of business. Now that can be, it's a figure of speech. Training wheels is a figure of speech. So what that means is you're seeing and evaluating, reflecting on the different experiences you've had and how those lend to the growth of the company overall. That's a collective experience to support the development of yourself and the business. Or you're seeing where your strengths and your weaknesses are as an entrepreneur in the first 5 years, especially because you had singular focus on one business, one thing over time. Another space you can kind of see where this happens is when we're exploring our hobbies, right? Either we've been drawing for a while and then we get to a certain point and we're like, man, we recognize our own greatness in this ability and we're choosing, dang, we're also noticing where we're not the best as well. Like maybe we're great at drawing eyes and we're not so good at drawing dynamic poses, right? So things of that nature. When it comes to the collective, when we're trying to identify what activity or interest we want to explore, especially through our teenage years, we're thinking back on the things that we like the most, right? So if we like the feeling of confidence that comes from wearing clothes or decorating different materials, interior design, then you start to piece together what that hobby could be moving forward, right? And you start to explore those different ventures and so on and so forth. So that first 5 years is why we call it the training wheels of business, either of a collective experiences that lends itself to the development of your company, or it's a singular focus where you've just been building something, focusing on that one thing over time and measuring the progress in real time. All right. So that's the first 2 stages of business. That's your first 5 years as an entrepreneur, okay? So again, you go from aspiring rookie to the entrepreneur, you develop this system, it works, and now you're trying to make sure it's going in a direction, right? You're trying to give it direction so that way you can actually see the finish line, okay? So now we're breaking into that 5 to 9 year mark, and now we're getting more systematic, a lot more technical, and we're looking at operations and organization. Communication is key, especially how it flows through the business. If you're still a solopreneur, meaning the person who is doing all the work, all the business and deliverables by yourself, that's where tech and tools come into play. Like, for example, a scheduling tool like Calendly, right? Which has a free option as well. Or maybe you're acquiring another business phone so that way you can maintain operating hours and you can disconnect healthily from your business at a certain time, right? A lot of different things. You're looking at communication tools, like maybe you're getting a Gmail account specifically for your business so you don't have to continuously use your personal information. You're trying to increase the level of professionalism that people do business with you, or the perception thereof, right? While at the same time being more organized, okay? Maybe you're setting times in your day, you're time blocking to ensure that you're able to give your clients and your business the energy that it needs to continue moving forward. Think of it as like nurturing a plant, okay? There's a system that's involved, right? In the beginning, you're looking at the ground, and then you're digging the hole, and then you're putting the seed, you're ensuring that you've done the research so that way you put it in the right environment so that it grows, and then you're watering in it the right amount of times, the right quantity of water, right amount of exposure. You're being very intentional. You're technically developing a system to support the growth of this business so it can sustain over time. And what happens here is you're decreasing your individual effort into the business and you're increasing the efficiency of how it gets done. The faster, the more effective, the better your business is going to be, and the faster it's going to grow. Now, that also includes like social media and all of these things that you're experimenting with and exploring through those first 2 stages. Again, at the 3rd stage here, as the pro, you've already figured that out. You know what's working best for your business, and you're probably putting more money and attention to making sure they have the greatest return on the investment. You're also thinking on the plane, your mindset is shifting now from building and structuring the idea to creating the business to now managing the system and the business itself. So you may be even considering in this 5 to 9 phase, again, at the pro level, you may be even considering bringing on a team member where you're paying them either contractually or you're actually hiring them on as a team, as a staff. Definitely recommend going the contract route first if you have the revenue. We're looking at the overall state that our business is in once we're getting to the pro level, all right? We're trying to take it to the next level. All right, that's pretty much the goal. And make sure it's manageable so that way if we bring people in, then it doesn't interfere with the business and we can still continue to earn money so we can continue growing as a business, right? Just want to take a quick pause and let you know something about me, right? So my journey with this, I'm in year 10, but I am simply a pro in the game is what I would consider myself, right? Even though I have 10 years in the game. So the point that I'm making is the timeline is just a point of reference because it makes it easier to follow. Now, the speed in which your business develops can be accelerated by many different factors, and some of which are outside of our control, like the market responding very well to our products and services. Okay? If our business grows overall, team, money, market share, all of these things, then that starts to get that kind of unicorn effect, unicorn business type of vibe. A unicorn situation for a business is similar to a product or video going viral, and now the world is on fire and they want to get their hands on this video, this content, or your business or your product, right? And in those type of cases, it's possible that because your business is growing at an accelerated pace, that it could mature faster than your mindset and your capacity to maintain and manage that type of growth. So just want to make sure we're keeping that in mind. The goal of our program, the CLIC Biz program, and these focus groups is to give you a realistic picture and point of view on how to manage and maintain the growth of your company while you're still a child, while you're still a teen. So you can make sure your priorities are straight and you're managing your relationships on top of the business as best as you can so you can still live your life while pursuing excellence through entrepreneurship. All right? Just wanted to make sure that I covered that. So the timeline is subject to change. We're just using it here as a point of reference so it's easier to follow. Okay? Easier to follow. So where we left off was the systemization of your business, getting more organized, getting more getting more organized, finding tools, tech, implementing different systems, processes to ensure that everything flows properly in your business, whether you bring on someone to support in certain aspects, like a contractor or a team member, or you're doing everything yourself and you want to, again, as you systemize, you're decreasing your input and stress while increasing the efficiency and speed in which you're able to do business successfully. All right, so now we're getting to this 10-year mark and we're at the all-star level, okay? We are MVPs, we are running the show, we are sought after, people want to buy our name. Like Anthony was saying, we are there, okay? We are there and we're experiencing it for the first time, this level of success, right? Think about your favorite athlete, you know, how they might have felt, what they might have been going through, the excitement, the nerves, the concerns, but the enthusiasm, the drive, and the hesitation that they may have experienced going, some cases, straight out of college into the NBA, right? Or they're like Kyrie, you know, who is, you know, looked at a certain way when he was on the Heat, or, I'm sorry, when he was with Cleveland, and you know, people looked at him a certain way, but now that he's on a different team, a Maverick, he's an all-star player, and we're starting to give him the respect that he's earned over time. So that transition of opinion, of value, perceived value, and expectations from you as a successful business owner, right, as an all-star in the game, that's a lot of pressure, and the way that you navigate it is by being very intentional in understanding how you're growing through the business over time, right? So now we're 10 years in the game, and we are crushing it. All right, we have the money, we have the lifestyle, we have the freedom to choose what we want to do. And we are responsible as well. We have to be accountable because we're feeding people, all right? We are supporting people's livelihood. Now, you don't have to want to become an all-star, but that's one of my goals, okay? One of the key goals of being an all-star is to develop an enterprise, you know? So at this point, it's extremely expansive. You're focusing on expansion, right? So an example is when athletes starting to, increase their skill and their value in the game, companies like Nike, Microsoft, Under Armour, Gatorade, these companies want to do bigger business with these all-stars at this level of success. Because that athlete, you as the business owner, the CEO, right, who's now overseeing the entire operation, right, you understand every component of your business. This is your thing, right? And you've gotten it to this level of success and you're reaping the rewards from it. So now your goal is to expand. Maybe you're looking at franchising. What does it look like to open a space? Maybe you're looking at acquiring a space. Maybe you're looking at, you have 3 different options here, but just for general speaking, maybe you're looking at hiring someone else to take over as the CEO and you take a seat back and you're the founder sitting on the board of the company to ensure that everything stays in line, right? To ensure that you maintain the integrity of the business as the company evolves, right? Now at this point it's growing, it's way outgrown you, and you still want to have a hand on it, optional, or you don't. It's up to you. So now, but this is what I wanted to point out a few moments ago. So at the all-star level, you have 3 options, all right? Well, there's a lot more, obviously, but 3 options. I'm gonna step. All right, so at the all-star level, you're thinking big, right? You're looking at Apple, all-stars, Microsoft, those other companies, all-stars. So here, if it's you gotta make the decision, right? You're either gonna go this way, you're gonna scale, right? And scaling means to really go global, right? Think about a store and they're increasing their market share, right? We'll use Amazon as an example. For the longest time, they were crushing it when it comes to the online space, right? You order something on Amazon, it's getting to you. They've refined that system. But they wanted to branch out and not take over, let me change the word in there. They wanted to reach more people in a more innovative and effective way. Then they started to create drones, right? So now they have drones out there delivering your packages. They're also they also purchased better vehicles, right? They invested in new vehicles. They maybe even bought some companies, just to make sure that everything is current in the time, right? And now we also see in some of the malls that they have storefronts, okay, where people can return stuff, people can purchase things, and they have locker posts where you can have your package sent somewhere else and go pick it up. All right, that's incredible. But that's what I mean by expansive, and they're scaling. They're wanting to do more business, reach more people, earn more money, make life simpler for the people that they're involved with, right? So another route you can go is to sell. You can build it, package it like a present for the purpose of selling. So there's this process called evaluation. And that is when, financial experts and business experts are trying to gauge the real-time economic value of your business. And this is where you hear things on the news like, so-and-so just bought XYZ company for $6 billion. I mean, that's a pretty large figure, but several $million, right? This is what they mean. This is what they've done. They've sold their business or a portion of their business, right, to a larger entity so that way they can continue to grow as well, right? So valuation is the process of determining the value, economic value of a business, and this is typically much further down the line when you're trying to sell, when you're building it to sell, right? And you can set this intentions in the pro level. when you have that foundational understanding of what your business is, its impact in the market, etc., you can set that as a goal down the line at the semi-pro level, right? As you're doing more research, you're understanding what the pros do, how they do it well, what it looks like. And you can also vision cast it at the rookie level. But keep in mind that as your business grows, things will change and evolve, and that might affect the ultimate goal, the end goal of your journey as a business builder, okay? So just keep that in mind, okay? So we got scale, all-star level 10 years, you're expanding, sell, right? That's also an option. Or, of course, you can do this as well. I'm using this word loosely, okay? You can retire. Right? You can retire. So remember we talked about succession planning? What this looks like is you've identified talent either within your organization or in the market for leaders and business leaders like CEOs, essentially, right? You're in the market to find a CEO to overtake your business, so that way you don't have to do as much work, you don't have to be as involved, right? At this point, you can step away completely from your business, and just, you can start something new, you can enjoy time with your family. It's a lot of different options that you have. You know, life opens back up, quote unquote, once you decide to retire from your business. And retiring could look like hiring a CEO to run it, continuing to grow it. Retiring could look like selling a portion or all of your business, so you're hands off and it's no longer yours. Like, you're not responsible for it, the risk and things as much anymore, because there's a lot of risk involved in business development. And you know, that's what retirement could look like. You know, retirement could look like just continuing to stay in the business, but you're no longer doing the executive level duties, right? Maybe you're just a spokesperson, right? You step down from being the day-to-day operations or managing as the CEO and things of that nature. You put teams, departments, systems in place, fine-tune it over the years, so you're at a stage where you can walk away realistically, right? And you can just be the spokesperson and go and speak and become a motivational speaker, transformational speaker. So retirement, you know, outside of money, which is extremely important, also depends on what you want to do with your time, how you want to reinvest your energy, and the level of involvement you want to have in your business at this point in the game. Okay, so another term, what are the terms that I use at least when it comes to being an all-star level? Let's say there's an invisible wall right here. So the choice, right, because you have success here for sure. The choice here is, do I want to build an enterprise? That's going to require, it's going to require you to become an all-star. You want to develop an enterprise. Or, right, am I content, which is not a bad thing. Content is much different from complacency, okay? Complacency is more about when you get to a certain level of success or achievement and you consciously decide that you don't want to pursue any further beyond that. However, you continuously complain and whine and you feel like you're not doing enough, right? Because you're not genuinely okay with the decision that you've made. You still want to grow and you're complaining, but you're choosing not to, right? So that is one of the key differences between content. That is the definition, at least in my opinion, of complacency. To be content is to genuinely be at peace. An example of contentment, let's say you enjoy going to the beach. So when you go to the beach, whether you're having a stressful day, you're having a great day, you're having a midday, whenever you get to that beach, you are at peace, you're okay with whatever is going on, you're able to think beyond it and just be present, right? And truly enjoy the moment for what it is beyond everything else that's taking place in your life, right? That is contentment. And there's thresholds to contentment as well, and maybe we can talk about that on YouTube. But for now, we're just focusing on this invisible line of choice when we're growing in our level of leadership and we're deciding, you know what, I want to develop an enterprise where we're hiring people, we're feeding people, we're going as big as we can. We're not playing small anymore, right? Big looks different at different levels, of course, but we're not playing small anymore, okay? Or, you know what, I'm content, I'm okay with where I'm at. Let's put people in position so we can maintain this system. We can maintain this business because I love the impact that we're making. I love the customers that we have, and I don't want to close the business down. And I'm not really interested in growing any farther than this point. As long as we can maintain, and earn some more money so we can serve our current customers better, totally okay with that, then it's okay. You can succeed at the pro level, right? You're making plenty of money, plenty of impact at this stage of business, okay? So, last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up is kind of like what's happening behind the scenes, internally, mentally, etc. So I'm going to draw 2 lines here, okay? So we're looking at blue. So blue is going to be business maturity, right? So business maturity, that's this blue. You are literally growing as a leader through different levels and stages of your development as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as an enterprise owner, whatever you want to call it. But you're literally, as yourself, are growing as a leader from rookie to a semi-pro to a pro and an all-star, right? That is what's happening. You as the business owner, as the business leader, are maturing through this journey of building a company, right? So now we have this purple. So this purplish color, that's going to be your business health. Right? That's going to be your business health, right? So now your business health is strictly talking about the things and the milestones, the progress that is actually being made in your business over time, okay? Progress in your business over time, okay? So we're going from idea to business that has a direction. We're talking about brand is introduced, typically focused on this areas. Here we're focused on branding, right? And becoming that household name, making sure people understand who we are, what we represent. Our customers are clear. We're sending a clear message. All of these things, fine-tuning them, and setting the direction on where we're going as a business is going to be here, right? So now we're direction. Again, 5 to 9 years, we're systematic, right? Now we're making sure that we're decreasing the input, personal input we have in our business, increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of how we acquire, or like we get new customers essentially, and continue to grow. With reducing the amount of input that you have, effort, and increasing the efficiency with the systems that you put in place. Your also mindset is shifting, again, from training wheels, I'm figuring it out, to now I have an understanding. Now do we have the system, how can we manage it well, right? So that way if we bring people on, it doesn't interfere with the growth of the business. You have to be super intentional about this whole thing because it affects the overall health of your business as it develops, okay? And then 10 years plus, we're looking at expansion, all right? How are we looking on business? Like how many new business, how did our clients increase? How do we earn more money from our clients this year? How did our clients evolve this year, right? What type of impact are we making on the community overall? Not just the customers themselves, but the community overall. How do we reach more people, right? How do we expand the business, okay? And then that leads into the choices. A well-developed business and a mature business owner has the luxury of making these decisions, okay? If we are slacking here, we're not going to perform well here and make it there. You get what I'm saying? If we're slacking in the rookie and semi-pro leagues, semi-pro leagues, when we get to the pro league, we're not going to be at our best. We're not going to be at our peak. We're not going to have that Mamba mentality, okay? So we're finished our training weeks. Once we go from here to here, all right, now we're really doing some things, man. And that gives us the opportunity to do this. Oh yeah, so what I was going to say, if you're leading poorly here, structure, systems, all of these things are poorly selected, not managed well, then your business could fail in year 5, right? Your business could fail and you cannot scale, you cannot sell, you cannot retire, right? That opportunity doesn't become as realistic if your business isn't performing where it's supposed to be at this stage, okay? Now again, when you're doing well here, now you're going to the All-Star games, you know, you're in the USA, you're in the Olympics, you're really performing at a super high level. Your people are coming for you to offer you opportunities and all of these things. Your business is showing signs of, you know, very healthy business. Now, once you reach the end of the road, your ultimate goal, you can choose to scale, sell, or retire. And all of these opportunities are accessible to you at the All-Star level. Now, real quick, a well-managed company at the pro level, in the pro leagues, you know, even if you're second string, you're not the best in the industry, but you're doing very well for yourself, and your customers are happy, etc., those things we mentioned, then you can get this to a level where it is sellable, right? Where you can still retire, right? Scaling is optional, but again, we made a conscious decision here not to expand. You see what I'm saying? So just wanted to make sure we pointed that out as well. Man, this has been great. Let me get a sip of water real quick, man. Let me get a sip of water. But that is where we are right now. Okay, so these are things to keep in mind. Measuring points, KPI, right? Key performance indicators, goals, aspirations, visions, milestones, whatever you want to call them. These are things to not only keep in mind, but the leagues of business is how you track it over time. Okay? We're focusing on ourselves. We're building our capacity as a leader. We're building our skill set. We're focusing on our strengths. We're reading books. We're researching for the purpose of doing the best we can, developing the best business we can that we want. Okay? 10x is easier than 2x. Great book to read on this type of concept when it comes to how you, as the business owner, invest your energy and your focus, okay? So we're wanting to mature as that leader, as that business developer, as that enterprise builder. And we also want to make sure we're keeping an eye on how our business is growing over time. That is going to conclude this Kidz Biz lesson. All right, that's going to conclude this Kidz Biz lesson, the final lesson of the series for the Kidz Biz focus group. If you have a community of youth and you want to introduce them to some of these concepts of entrepreneurship, and maybe they don't have access or the resources to participate in our summer program, make sure you shoot us a DM, send us an email, give us a call, and we can take these Kidz Biz lessons and bring them straight to your community. All right, so make sure you like and subscribe. If this is on YouTube, make sure you like our page and continue to stay tuned. If you're on Facebook, make sure you stay tapped in, join our newsletter for monthly stuff across the board wherever you are, and we'd love for you to continue supporting our journey. God bless you again. This has been Corey, the Kidz Biz trainer with CLIC Kidz Biz for Youth Business Training. We'll see you hopefully on June 1st if you're in the city of Orlando. Peace out.